What's up guys, it's Punchy, and today we're going to be showcasing and testing out an enchant that has recently got some hype and seeing how viable it can be. Personally, I was very impressed on how well it performed, and in my opinion, it's going to be one of my go-to picks on any build. But before we start, thank you for all the support on my previous build. It was great to see some build suggestions in the comments, which I'll take a look at. Also, if you're interested in some pretty cool race variants, check out my Twitter, which has the latest updates on my Rotweave series. Anyway, make sure to like and subscribe, and enjoy. Alright boys, today we're going to be testing out a weapon curse, the Curse of Yun Shul. A viewer actually sent me this idea a couple weeks ago and actually gave me this Adresian axe with the Curse of Yun Shul, so shout out to Fishy for this. Here's a look at my current stats on this weapon and build just so you can understand what type of damage I'll be doing. It's also worth noting that I use an Akira's ring, which significantly increases my DPS with 100 willpower. Curses in Deepwoken are generally negative but have balanced upsides and downsides. For instance, the Curse of Bloodthirsty drains blood like no other and deals 10% extra damage, but on a miss you'll end up hitting yourself. Curse of Yun Shul is a little bit too good to call it curse. When you equip this enchant, your weapon will turn a black translucent color and emit the droning sound that curses usually do. I'm a big fan of subtle changes to weapons, so this enchant is visually one of my favorites because it's not doing too much, it's a little bit, subtle. This curse is what I would consider the crazy slot of enchants, but while it's not proccing its effect, there's no real downside. Yun Shul's effect will only activate on a hit, meaning it's an undodgeable enchant like blazing or detonation. When this curse activates, you'll see a displacement-like effect as well as a similar noise. On a successful hit with a basic weapon, without the proc, your damage will be the same. From what I've noticed on my specific build, it has a slight damage buff from what is showing on my weapon stat screen. Maybe it also scales off of willpower, that could be something that's hidden. For this damage testing, I'll be slapping my Azureflame build, which has a substantial amount of health, almost at 500. When I hit this account with a base hit, no effect, I do 6% of health. But when the Yun Shul effect procs on my opponent, I end up doing 18% of his HP, which is ridiculous. That is 3 times damage. And the final effect, which makes this enchant a curse, is sometimes I will take damage and the effect will proc on me, but I still do 19% damage on my target. It's insane. Based on what I found from these testings, I assume the enchant does not do a set amount of damage, but instead does percent damage. Also, it's something to note that this enchant does stack with damage multipliers and debuffs you can apply to your enemies, such as Ardor Scream and Reinforce, so technically you could probably one-shot somebody if it activated with Wind Up. The only thing that I'd say is negative about this enchant is that you don't know when its effect is going to activate. It's actually quite rare. A blanket increase in damage as well as random critical attacks is probably what I consider a top tier enchant. I believe this weapon enchant is very good because it only activates on a successful hit, not dodges or parries, which is very slept on. Something I don't really understand about this curse is why it's relevant to the lore. This is the only enchant that I'm aware of that references a lore figure like Yun Shul, and honestly it does it poorly. Alright, my weapon turns black and is translucent, but why is that? We can literally see statues of Yun Shul and even talk to him, so I don't understand why my weapon is hiding. And a damage buff is great, but I don't see any tie into the lore itself. Maybe the RNG of it activating is the same shitty RNG we get when rolling bells at Yun Shul. That's all I have to say today, and if you want me to test enchants, hit me up and I'll do my best to inform the public. Thank you guys for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe.